This is the web series for the love of BIM, promoting Barbados, everything Bajan Canadian, and everything Canadian Bajan. Welcome to another episode of Fuhdeloveuhbim. I am your host, Consul General Sonia Marvell Carter. Last week I indicated that today we will be having a discussion about Lent, as well as a discussion about Black History Month. Then our feature for today will be Dr. Grant Morris, who will speak to us about the Caribbean event / the Grant Morris Foundation. I know I would also have mentioned that we would have been having a tribute to Alex Waithe. It has been a bit delayed, but we should have it posted by Wednesday, February 24th. And trust me, you do not want to miss that tribute to Alex. But let's start today's program off with the birthday shoutouts. Happy birthday to Shelley, who celebrated on the 17th of February. COVID restrictions and all of that, but we hope you had a great birthday, Shelley. And these greetings are coming from your family and friends here in Canada and Barbados. Next up is Halo, who celebrated her 9th birthday on February 19th. You're getting up there, Halo. Next birthday, you will be in double digits. Wow! I hope you had a fantastic birthday, and greetings are coming from your mum Kathy, the entire family circle both here and in Barbados, as well as from me, Auntie CG. Next is Sherry in Brampton, who is celebrating on February 27th. Sorry we can't hang out for your birthday, Sherry, but when things are back to normal, we can celebrate both our birthdays. These greetings are coming from your mom and brother and the entire family circle in Barbados, as well as the Hawthorne Church family, and of course from me. Our final birthday shout out for today is being extended to Sonia Chung, and Sonia is celebrating on February 28th. Hope you have a great birthday, Sonia, and these greetings are coming from June, Susan G, Colleen, Jennifer, Heather, and Natalie. I know how you ladies like to celebrate. Enjoy, but be safe. Now, here to tell us a little about the Lenten season, which started with Ash Wednesday on February 17th, is Canon Stephen Fields. Making sense of Lent during COVID. A short discussion with Canon Stephen Fields.
Well, CG, I no longer assume that people know about these things anymore. Back in the past, we knew what Lent was at home, right? Because every Ash Wednesday, whether you were at a primary school or high school, you went to church, and Lent began, and we knew what Lent was. But nowadays, that's not the case. So I want to say a bit about how Lent began, because I think we need to know that to appreciate what we're doing today. But there was no fixed time frame. There were no formal rules governing the period of Lent. And so different groups of Christians follow different customs. Some fasted for several days, others for several weeks, and some observed 40 days. And this would evolve into what we know as Lent today. Now, 40 has meaning, right? I mean, 40 appears often in the Bible. 40 days in the wilderness for Jesus, and so we can, at some point, discuss 40 days and what 40 means in Scripture. But for now, Lent became regularized during the time of Constantine, the emperor, when he made the faith legal, right? And it was a period, as it is now, that was spent to serve many ends. The overarching reason for Lent was to prepare for the new life that Easter brought. So the Christian faith is that after Jesus' ministry, when he overcame the terror of evil, sin, and death, at Easter time, and opened the way to new life, people prepared for that moment, right? And so they spent their time getting ready to celebrate Easter, new life. So the word new life really is spring, right? And the English word for Lent it is shortened from the Old English word Lenten, which means spring season. So Lent really was about new life, and so it all connects. So, for example, you have things like Easter lilies, right? You have the Easter bunnies and the Easter egg, all about what new life is about. So Lent and Easter together come in spring. Christians take up some practice of daily devotion. Perhaps it could be reading of devotional scriptures or praying, but doing something in that time to draw themselves nearer to God. Many Christians commit to fasting, for example. And for us at home, we were told you give up something for Lent, right? So you give up some luxury, be it chocolate or maybe smoking or whatever, to replicate some sacrifice. But the bigger thing about sacrifice during Easter is that we sacrifice that others may benefit, right? So during Lent, when we give up stuff, it isn't only given up because I want to become a better person, but because I want to make something good for some other person to happen. So like Jesus, who died not for his glory, but for us, we give up something in Lent for others. So for example, in my parish here at Holy Trinity, right, we do several things during Lent. And one thing we do is we read scripture every morning or every day, 40 days, right, something. And we then put aside at the end of the reading a loonie or toonie, right? And it's meant to go to some outreach project, whether in our neighborhood or beyond. So for example, over the past years, following a Lenten devotion and discipline, we have provided funds for clean water in the north in a First Nation community. We have funded our refugee program, right? And we also provide funds to the homeless and those out in the cold. So Lent is not just because we want to give up chocolate or cigarettes, but we give up something because somebody else has to benefit or ought to benefit from our sacrifice. Otherwise, it's a very selfish way to devote oneself to God in that moment, in that period of time. Having said all of that, we come now to the COVID, right? And we have given up a lot already for COVID. Given up community, given up parties, given up going home, no Capover, no Carnival, no Caribana. We gave up all this stuff, right? And we ask ourselves, but what does it really mean then in COVID time? What does Lent really mean? And I gave much thought, and I wondered, I said to myself, what have I missed in these last 8 or 9, 10 months of COVID that I really want to recapture, reclaim, right? Who missed me, right? Does it matter if they miss me or not? How have others suffered because of what I may not have done or may have done, right? In COVID times, and what does it mean for me and for others, right? Because if my Lenten journey is to new life, it isn't for me alone to get that new life, but somebody else or others may share in that life, that liberated experience of God and community by my giving up something or doing something meaningful. So Lent can be used for one's personal devotion and spiritual growth, and that's critical. But it's also about how am I impacting and blessing some other person.
Thank you so much, Canon Fields, for what I think was a very insightful look into a special season on the Christian calendar, which many people may have been wondering how to handle during this pandemic. The month of February is indeed a special month, and it is also Black History Month, with a lot going on, almost all virtual, of course. On February the 6th, The inaugural Calgary Black Chambers Awards were held online, and one of our own, Dr. Maurice Scantlebury, who also happens to be the recently appointed Honorary Consul in Calgary, Alberta, was awarded the Calgary Black Chambers Medicine Achievement Award. Congratulations to you, Dr. Scantlebury, and all of the other awardees. Now, I am sure you have been inundated with email and messages and advertisements and posts about Black History Month and events surrounding this. But have you actually paid attention? Have you read any of the posts? Have you taken the time to attend any of the Zoom seminars or even watched a film being promoted during Black History Month? Have you supported Black-owned business? If you have, then great. But if you haven't, maybe you should, because we're not only Black in February. That is the month we choose to highlight, celebrate, and recognize. But we are Black every second of every minute of every day of every month of every year. So you're not late. Even though February is coming to an end, you can still learn, you can still educate, you can still support, and you can still promote Black business, heritage, culture, and people any day and every day. So why not start today? Now let's move on to our feature for today. And Dr. Grantley Morris will tell us all about what the Caribbean event and the Grant Morris Foundation are doing and have been doing over the years for the Caribbean community in Toronto. Welcome to Fuhdeloveuhbim, Mr. Morris. And I want you to just give us some information on the organization that you are a part of or that you head. Tell us the name of it. Tell us everything about it that you want to share with us, please.
It is the Caribbean Event Family, and it's now the Grant Morris Foundation. Now, it started in 1986 as a thank you gesture to the members and staff of the Ontario Municipal Board, where I served for 4.5 years as a tribunal judge. On that occasion, some 120 were in attendance in my backyard, and this function provided the impetus to continue. We now have over 1,000 members, with some 33 countries represented. And 2 years ago, the Caribbean event received approval of its foundation under the Grant Morris Foundation. Membership is by invitation and is comprised of my friends from school while living in Barbados, new friends from Canada, clients of my company Grant Morris Associates Limited, and recommendations of other family members. Our mission is to encourage its members to give back to the community, both in Canada and the Caribbean. To provide yearly scholarships mainly for children from its members, with emphasis on single parent members. Goals and objectives. To provide financial assistance to our scholarship recipients. To provide a minimum of 500 bursaries and scholarships within the next 5 years, mainly to students within the Caribbean Event Family and the Grant Morris Foundation. To increase our bursary and scholarship amounts from 1,000 and 4,000 yearly to 2,000 and 10,000 yearly over the next 5 years for each student. To encourage our students to remain in school and to strive for excellence in pursuit of their studies and work life. To provide refurbished computers to schools, to rural schools throughout the Caribbean, and mainly to assist financially challenged children with computer experience. To honor a pledge of raising $1 million for our endowment at Ontario Tech University, mainly to assist Caribbean students. To provide a network to assist our members and the broader community. To assist the Caribbean organizations to provide toys at Christmas for children in need.
You have, a lot of members in comparison to some of the other associations. You're telling me into the thousands. So what is your succession plan? Do you find that you have a number of younger persons who will then be able to carry on this association or this organization, this charity, the foundation, as you say, it's the Grant Morris Foundation. So are there younger persons who are now involved who will be able to take this on in the future?
Well, I'm grooming my daughter, and I have some other younger members like the Jones girls.
Yes.
Who, as far as I'm concerned, they are my daughters, and they are very heavily involved. Now, interesting enough, the association is more or less an elderly association, but we also encourage the children of our members to participate in what we're doing. And each year we have a minimum of about 500 people attending or yearly function in August, in July.
Mm-hmm.
And it has reached a point now where we have to try to cut back on the numbers, because since it's in our backyard, we really can't hold any more people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is always a challenge.
And it is a fantastic event. I must tell everybody that those who have never been, if you're in Canada around that time, once this pandemic is over, we go back to having actual events. This is a not to be missed event. Really, it really is a not to be missed event. Yeah, so Grant, tell us though, what have you, can you say at this point in time, how many scholarships you have given over the years, how much money you have raised? I know you said it was a goal of $1 million. Where are you in terms of that goal?
Okay, we have given out so far bursaries and scholarships, well over 175 scholarships. Okay, and over the last 12 years in particular, we have raised in our backyard something like $1,200,000.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
We have given the Ontario Tech University about $450,000 of our goal to give them $1 million. And the university has given out about 30 scholarships from our endowment. Now, the scholarship at the university is aimed at Caribbean people. Mm-hmm. Okay. Originally, we had pledged to give $500,000, but the Ontario government saw fit to remove the matching funds. Mm. So we stepped up to the plate and decided that we were going to raise the whole $1 million.
Okay.
So we are almost halfway there right now.
I see. Okay, so you concentrate right now on the scholarships and the youth, as well as the toy drive. So you're concentrating on the youth. So that would really help to build your base in terms of your succession plan.
Right, and also we have a program where we have given out almost 200 refurbished computers to a number of Caribbean islands, 7 Caribbean islands so far. And Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Antigua, Barbados, and Grenada. Now, Barbados has received well over 84 computers to date. And the objective is to aim this initiative at rural schools to allow children who would not otherwise have an opportunity for computer experience to get computer experience. And so far, the program is working quite successfully, and we keep getting more and more requests for additional computers. And we have 2 of our IT members who make sure that the computers are ready for use upon arrival.
Okay, that's very good. Question: how has the pandemic changed things? I know for everybody it means that you've gone online, or has that happened as well? Have you taken your events online, or are you still doing your fundraising? Have you been able to do fundraising in 2020 as well? Having taken things online as well, your events?
Well, to my surprise, the pandemic really has not affected us. Our members came to the plate and decided that we should go online. Now, I wasn't quite sure how this was going to work, but we sat down and we worked out a program. And last year, we raised $110,000. And in the previous year, we raised $120,000. But last year, we did not have the walkathon, which raised us $15,000. Okay. So that meant that last year, we raised more money than the previous years.
Wow. Is there anything else that you want to add, things that I may not have touched on?
We initiated that program, and so far we have raised within the last 4 years about 2,700 toys. And we have sent to Barbados about 160 toys to the Nightingale Home over that period.
Okay. And that's in Barbados. So is there any other, have you given toys to any other children's homes in any of the other Caribbean territories?
No, but we have done so to Tropicana. There's also some of the homes for battered women and their children. And this year we also gave some to Cannon Fields' church. Okay. For their children.
Okay.
Because we had more toys this year than we knew what to do with.
Wow, you see, this COVID year has not slowed y'all down. I should say 2020 did not slow y'all down at all in terms of donations and your fundraising. This is very good.
I have to attribute that to the members of the Caribbean Event Family. And it never ceased to amaze me about their willingness to give. And even if I don't ask, they will call me and contribute.
This is very good. Now maybe we can hear a little bit about the man behind the foundation, Dr. Grant Morris.
There's one section that I would like to offer, and it's term for the love of BIM. Okay, because I think this is very important to me. What does my homeland Barbados mean to me? Although I did not do well at school, much to the disappointment of my school principal father, attending Harrison College, being a member of the Scouts, the school cadets, and an avid sportsman, cricket and football, I learned valuable lessons of deportment, discipline, and to function as a team player, and most importantly, to be a leader and not a follower. In my early life, my parents were divorced, leaving the three Morris brothers to be brought up by a single parent father. It was our two Christian housekeepers who taught me the value of godliness and to be kind to those less fortunate in society. Later, it was my stepmother who instilled in me the value of believing in oneself and the power of positive thinking. And you can achieve anything you want, provided you put your mind to accomplish it. As a JC, the true value of service to humanity has been a constant ingredient in my everyday life, and it is these experiences that I will carry with me wherever I go. Upon immigrating to Canada after a very short but successful work life in Barbados, and being the third executive of the Natural Gas Corporation, and with my own residential and building design company and construction company as a hobby, where at the age of 25, I was making more money than my school principal father. But money was not enough to quench my thirst for knowledge. So I immigrated to Canada to fulfill my dream of a university education. This came about when my hard work paid off by my boss offering me a scholarship to read for my degree in urban studies at York University, where I graduated with a B+ average. This was followed with another scholarship to read for my master's degree at the University of Toronto, where I graduated with upper first class honors. It was my earlier training and experience received in Barbados that has laid the foundation to strive for excellence, to be a good citizen, and to give back to my community, both at home, both my homeland Barbados and my adopted homeland Canada. I continue in my belief that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, and that service to humanity is the best work of life, the JC's Creed. Wider community benefits. The community benefits as a result of well-educated students entering the workforce and contributing to the welfare of the Canadian society, assisting their respective families with upward mobility, and hopefully in turn will seek to help those less fortunate in reaching their goal. That is what I will hope to achieve in my lifetime for my students and those whom we support over the years.
Grant, I want to thank you for sharing the work of your organization with us and look forward to our continued collaboration in helping you reach your goals and plans to assist the persons in the Caribbean community here in Canada. Thank you. So after these informative sessions, I always remind us to assist in whatever way we can and in whatever area we can, because every bit counts. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. So permit me to wish you all a good weekend and a peaceful and reflective Lenten season. Don't forget to look out for the tribute to Alex Waithe in a few days. And also, let's all do our part to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. So join us next Saturday when we send out more birthday greetings and discuss a new book on the market called Bajanisms, written by a phenomenal young Bajan artist called Mahalia Cummins, who can now add published author to her list of achievements. All of this is coming up next week on the web series Fuhdeloveuhbim. Stay